live, and we're discussing The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 7, Heads Up, in which we finally had a Richonne moment after like what felt like years and years and years. Sarah, let's talk about it.
Oh my goodness, how did the episode start it again?
I honestly have no idea what else happened.
Oh, yes, that's right. It started off with Glenn, which we were pretty much accurate on that. Him being alive, he's alive, and I'm so glad. Yay for Glenn!
I kind of wish I hadn't been spoiled about it, because then maybe it would have had more of an emotional punch, maybe. But like,
I just don't like the way they handled it. I'm glad I knew ahead of time, because otherwise I think I would have been pissed for the last 4 weeks. So, I don't know. I guess, I mean, people were obviously happy, but people were also like, why did y'all do this? So, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Chris made a comment about how he thought that, like, the 3 or 4 weeks of conversation that we've had about whether or not Glenn is alive is a reason why he's glad that it's not on Netflix or whatever, so we can't binge it. But I still disagree. I think if you're gonna tell a story like this and then like live in this world where we can talk about it all the time, then it feels really disingenuous when you're lying about, oh, he's like, is he really dead? Is he really alive? Like, that's bothersome. But like, if this were done like, I don't know, 10 years ago or 20 years ago, when like there really is no way of knowing really, I can kind of see why they could do it. But I think now with all the information out there, it just feels really disingenuous to pretend that like you can't say anything when you could.
Exactly, and Talking Dead doesn't help that either, because you have to literally just go on there and lie. It's like, y'all should have canceled this show for 3 weeks or something. I don't know. But it was awkward and it made it worse for their own show. So,
yeah.
I'm glad I knew, because I don't have to care. But for the people that were like, is he alive? I felt bad, because they sucked. The way they handled it sucked.
But I was happy to see his face. I think that first scene was like the best scene, and then after that, when Enid came into the picture, it's like, oh, I don't care. I don't care about you. Why are you getting all this screen time?
Seriously.
I'm right there with you, Kay. I didn't care for any of those Enid moments. I kind of figured out why it was necessary, but I was just over it.
Necessary? Please explain that.
Well, I took it as like Enid is officially or possibly might be comic Sophia's character, because Glenn and Maggie adopted Sophia, and Glenn was acting very paternal and reassuring and trying to motivate her to get to care, and that's how I took that scene. But then I didn't care at all. I didn't care, and I didn't. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I wanted for everyone's attention to go back to the Alexandria zone and not focus so much on Enid. I mean, Glenn needs to get home, and I was trying to get him to get home. I mean, I was hoping that he was going to go over the fence. Like, I was like, you can do it, Glenn. Go over that fence after you leave it. But he didn't. He stopped, he paused, and he went back looking for Enid. And I was like, damn it, look at that heart of gold.
Yeah, I think she's definitely going to be comic book Sophia. which I'm fine with, but yeah, I don't need to see that much of her ever again.
Yeah, like in episode 2 where she had like her opening scene, I thought that was good. And if they had like left her with just that, and then like maybe like her leaving but not being so dramatic about it, like it would have been okay. And then so same with this episode, like have her be there, have her help Glenn, have Glenn find her, but not all this argument about, oh, I don't want to go back and all blah blah blah. Like just
over and over again.
Yeah. You know.
Like you've done that once.
Hey, Tennille.
Hey guys.
Welcome to the chat.
Hey, y'all talking about Enid?
Yep.
Ooh, okay. I was glad that Glenn came back, and then I kind of was feeling kind of upset that he came back because I was getting tired of Enid myself. I was like, oh, she's just a little whiny baby. I was like, girl, get it together.
Yeah.
It was just like moving slow for me. I was like, can we get back to Alexandria now?
Right.
But other than that, best episode up until now. Do you guys agree?
Yes.
I think so.
Best episode
Yeah.
of 6A?
Yeah.
Yeah. Until the season finale, then it'll change. You know, mid-season finale. But till now, episode 7, I thought I wasn't gonna like it, but it was good.
Yeah.
I have to disagree.
There was a moment where I was I was kind of upset with Rick when he was like, yeah, I'll teach Ron how to shoot. And in the back of my mind, I was like, careful, Rick. You're giving this kid a gun. God only knows he's going to have this nice little trigger finger and maybe try and shoot you But I really just thought that Rick should have been a little bit more guarded as far as...
I think he kind of started to catch on that this dude, something wasn't right with him. Him and his son, I think, kind of caught on. Because they didn't give him the bullet. Yeah, they gave him a gun.
Right.
But I think they kind of started to see, okay, you're a little bit too anxious to get these bullets. You know what I'm saying? And then he quickly kind of caught on. He was like, okay, I'm blowing my cover. You know what, you're right. We don't need to be shooting. He was giving himself away. So I think he was kind of coming around to see, okay, yeah, this boy trying to bust the cap in one of our asses. Let me watch out. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You're right. I just thought I was just really worried for both Carl and Rick there for a minute. But prior to that, did anybody laugh when Rick took down the prayer circle?
Oh my God, he is so petty. That was hilarious.
He is. But the one thing, I wasn't even paying attention to that. I was too busy looking at his dusty uniform and the two-tone priest outfit he had on. It's time to get you a new pair of slacks. I was too busy looking at that.
I don't know. I was just
great.
So irritated with Rick throughout like everything. So like when he took down those posters, like, what are you doing? Like, it's like you're kicking a puppy at this point. So I was kind of happy when Gabriel put them posters back up.
You know what, you guys? Come on. How could you say? You guys need to understand. Gabriel went to Deanna. Okay, remember? He went to Deanna with...
No, I remember him saying, you need to be careful of these people because they're dangerous. And guess what? They are dangerous.
Yes, but however,
they've been so ineffectual, like they're not actually helping anybody. So
my thing is, like, you should have kicked them out. If you feeling like that bad, you should have kicked him out. Quit doing him like that.
Like he did it so sly. Gabriel did it so sly. And, instead of actually going up to Rick and Maggie or whatever to say, like, look, dude, I was...
My problem with Gabriel wasn't what he said about Rick and them. It was that he didn't say it was the same thing about him. Like, he didn't, like, he was just being hypocritical about it. But he realizes that, I'm as much as a bad influence as they are, or I was. And I think he's trying to change that now. So I hate that I'm being, like, that I have to defend Gabriel, but I don't know. Just Rick, he just annoyed me in that scene, and he annoyed me in that scene with Ron too.
Well, I liked Rick in this episode. I mean, considering I did not like him, I don't.
I guess I'm still feeling residual irritation from the last episode that he was in, and like his one scene with Richonne wasn't enough to like make me not irritated with him.
Are you serious?
Come on. Every time they have a moment, somebody's in there or they interrupt their moment.
Yeah,
here comes Deanna, interrupting their moment.
But it was
they're still not talking about anything. He was completely
addressing her with his eyes.
Elephant in the room, which is what is going on with Rick. Like,
well, it's not that important, obviously, because he didn't even think about Jesse. So
not necessarily why was he doing whatever with him, but like, why is he trying to like, or where are his priorities? Like, what is important to him? Because I still don't know. I don't know that it's his family.
Alexandrians.
Right.
It's not the Alexandrians, but
his focus is on the family first.
Is it though? What has he done to protect his family?
Try and take care of that herd from the quarry, I guess. I mean, that was the main focus. That was the dry run, and then that 18-wheeler crashed, and it made it live, and then the wolf happened, and then
I don't know. I just think the whole let's take a moment and breathe and think about what we're gonna do is contrived, because like there are so many things that they could be doing. Like they could have like taken off like zombie guts or whatever and covered themselves with it, gone out and lit some fires the night before and trying to get them away that way. Like there's so many ways that they could have done it. Like I don't see why they're sitting on their asses not doing anything until something bad happens.
Well, it's for the theatrics.
For Sasha and Abraham to get back. And
why are they waiting?
They need to let that go.
I don't know if they let it go. I don't know why that was the plan, but that was the plan. And I guess when they didn't
have plans, that makes them.
You gotta let it go like Frozen, and you got to get out there and do it for yourself. And you can't. I'm just saying.
So that's what
I don't know. Actually, Kay, that's a really good idea. I actually like that. You know, cover themselves in walker guts and go out there and start some fires. That's genius. I mean, why not do that?
But
I'm still upset that Michonne has been doing nothing. Like, what was she doing while she's been taking a breath? Like, has she been taking care of the kids? Has she been training people? Has she been trying to think of other ways to get this horde of zombies away? Like, it just feels like so many wasted opportunities.
But it was confirmed that it was a day.
Yeah, it's only been back a few hours. Really.
Yeah.
It's been a day and a night and a morning, and I don't know.
The morning after Rick got back, he said to Maggie, we're going to start figuring out how to get rid of the herd since Sasha and Abraham weren't back. So, I mean, I think it's fine that they took the day and waited for the rest of their plan to come to fruition, and they didn't.
But then why didn't they notice that the tower was cracking and it was about to fall over? Like, they noticed that there was holes in the walls, but they didn't look at the whole fence? Like,
well, they're not out there. I don't know.
Yeah, they can't get
I didn't think they noticed it.
Yeah.
No.
I think they were too focused on the wall.
Yeah,
they're not outside.
They were too focused on the
wall for structural integrity.
Huh?
I said a truck drives into the wall, and you're not going to check the entire wall for structural integrity?
Well, you know Alexandria is back there when that happened. I'm not about to defend the right on this show.
I mean, Kay, you're over here dropping so many truths, man. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
For real.
Like,
for real.
It's like,
why didn't they go outside and check? Hello.
I don't know. Like, I'm just someone who can't, like, if there's a herd of zombies out there, I'm not going to be able to sleep on it. I'm going to have to do something. And everybody in this episode has just been sleeping. And I don't know why.
I think they're banking on the walls staying up. I think that's just their thing. You know, the walls, they're sturdy. We're going to be all right, you know?
Yeah, they kept saying that, but there wasn't any evidence to back that up.
No, and I think there's something about the structure of the wall that was kind of confusing to me, because when they had panned out, they were like pillars on the outside where the walkers were.
Right.
I was like, wait a minute, isn't the pillar that's holding the beam supposed to be inside? It was just, I was just very confused when I saw that.
I feel like they brought that up last season and they never did anything about it.
So that was a screw up on their part then, because it looked like if you're pushing from the outside where the beam is facing you, I mean, it is gonna come down.
Anyone could come out there and just be like, I want to take down this wall and pull down the beam.
Right.
So,
yes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That. Oh my goodness, this is so bad. Now that I'm looking at the construction, I mean, really,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, yeah, that's why I'm still irritated.
Well, what about
I'm just ready for 6A to be over, so hopefully they can like get back to being smart.
Well, what about Glenn? Let's talk about how did he get out of that? That wasn't believable to me, because he was not fully covered. Nobody ate on them legs. Nobody ate on that arm. Nobody.
That's
you know
what
I'm
I was
saying?
thinking too.
Oh my God! Yes, I said the same thing. I said the same. I mean, it looked like they just moved away from him when he had dropped.
I don't know. And then what even made me mad with that is they had an open window all along, and you couldn't go in that open window.
Right.
That
made no sense.
I was like, y'all couldn't go to that window in the first place. Y'all had to get on top of that raggedy dumpster. Okay.
That was really. I've thought about that, and I was very confused by it because they had ample opportunity to get to the stairs. You know.
That's what I said. They could have got on them stairs. They could have went in the window, climbed the fence, anything.
Yep. No, there were walkers on the other side of the fence.
No, not that side. It was that other side. There was where the trees and stuff were. There was no walkers in that little brush over there.
Oh.
Yes. They should have jumped into the bushes.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yes, sir. There was a little brush off to the side. They could have climbed. Yeah.
It just feels like all of our characters have regressed to season 2, and they're doing dumb stuff again.
It's the Alexandrians.
Yes.
It's that bad influence.
Yeah.
They just need to kill all of the Alexandrians.
Can we take a minute and talk about Carol telling Rick on Morgan? I told y'all she didn't snitch. She did it. I don't know how I feel about it.
I'm sorry, but that was funny.
Well, my thing is, okay, what was your motives? Were you trying to get him kicked out because you got kicked out, Carol, or were you doing that like really? She petty too. She trying to get. Did you let those people go? Did you let them go? You know, you trying to get him kicked out. Yeah.
There was no kind of like, I don't know. And then there is Michonne was handling the conversation as the peacekeeper. She like, you know, she said what she needed to say. He got exactly where Morgan was coming from, but she was like, you know what? We don't have time to be thinking about all life being precious.
Right.
It was like, and then Rick in the middle, just having the ladies have a go at him, having a go at Morgan.
Well, what did y'all think of
Or
what
they should have.
Sorry, what was
They should have
that?
asked you.
what did you say? I said, what did y'all think of what Morgan said as an argument? I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I kind of got where he was coming from.
Yeah.
You never know.
It's like karma or kismet or
Right.
No,
If it
because
wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be there. Yeah.
but that
I mean, I
philosophy
get it.
that Morgan has does not work in a community. That only works if you're by yourself. Now, what they should have said, what Rick should have said, let me ask you this: if Dwayne was still alive, would you still hold that same philosophy?
Right.
You know, that should have been the question point blank. You're not thinking this all the way through. You can hold that philosophy because it's just you that you have to worry about. But if it was Dwayne or his wife, he would not be able to hold fast to it. He just wouldn't. So that's the question they should have threw back at him when he came back with those rebuttals.
I don't know.
That would have been
I don't know. Morgan already has gone through enough. I'm not sure how we would react if Rick would pull something like that on him. I mean, he lost his wife, he lost his son.
But it's the truth because because Morgan's only able to keep that philosophy because he doesn't have necessarily anybody, quote unquote, that he'd be willing to die for or kill for. He's lost all of that. So you put them back into the mix.
So he found a center with this whole all lives being
humanity. He had to find his humanity. So that's him being human by saying our life is precious. Because come on, that dude was just killing any and everybody, and not he was like worse than Rick.
It was crazy.
So I kind of understand where he's coming from. I do. I don't think that he should be saving everybody's life, but I do understand where he's coming from.
And even with that guy Eastman, Eastman was able to hold that philosophy because his family was gone. If his family was still there, you best believe Eastman wouldn't be holding that kind of that philosophy if his family was still there. It's a big difference, and I'm thinking that Morgan he's caught in limbo because he wants to follow his philosophy, but you also don't have anybody that you're responsible for, quote unquote. You don't have anybody that's there furthering your gene pool, so to speak. All your people are gone, so you can hold that philosophy. But when you have children like Rick does, which is what Michonne realizes, Michonne is the other side of that because, yes, all life is precious, but when it comes to, my kids, that doesn't apply. That's the same problem I had with Tyrese. You don't want to kill nobody. Oh, you don't want to kill nobody, but you're willing to go ahead and jeopardize the lives of your blood or your tribe. No, that don't work. It don't work. That's not reality. You can hold that philosophy if you held up in a cave in Tibet. You can do that because you by yourself. But in a community, it's the community. What is holding your community together? So, like I said, Morgan for me, he's outside the community because he's not concerned about community. He's concerned about he's concerned. You know what it is? He's got his own ego that he's dealing with right now. His ego is that, well, I don't want to kill nobody. So his ego is still running him. You need to throw that shit out the window. It's about the community. Can't do that.
Well, I think we might see him come to that realization. And we got a question from Candyma. And she says, hey guys, what do you think Carol finding out about the wolf Morgan has tied up? Now that the wall has come down, she will have to make her decision quick, and I feel like she's going to hesitate. and this will give the wolf a chance to attack. Maybe after seeing Carol in trouble, Morgan will finally do what he needs to do and kill him.
Yeah, I think Carol is going to go and try and kill him. I definitely think Carol's going to try and kill him.
Yeah, I do too.
Whether or not Morgan is going to try and stop her, that's the question at hand. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I like Morgan, but I'm sorry, I like Carol better. So I'm going to be rooting on Carol with this one. If they come, you know, to blows and stuff, hey, sorry, Morgan, you had your chance to clean this up. Carol is the cleaner here. She's gonna clean that shit up right away. We got walkers coming in here, and we got an enemy behind our lines here. No, he's got to go. That's too much trouble.
I think based on the conversation she had with Sam, she's gonna hesitate because that whole monster thing. I think that's why they had him say that to her, and it's gonna backfire. And maybe Morgan will rise to the occasion and finally kill somebody. I don't know, but I think that wolf is gonna be a problem while they're trying to hide from these walkers at the same time.
I think Morgan's gonna do it.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna have to be Morgan. Something's gonna go off in his head, and he's gonna do it. So,
well, that'll be interesting. That'll be interesting because of he knows that Carol is killing. She's not killing just haphazardly. He knows that she's killing for a reason. He doesn't necessarily believe in that reason, but he knows that she's there for the community and that she's killing enemies for a reason. He doesn't want to do it. She's willing to do it. So what I'm hoping, and usually when I hope it doesn't pan out with this show, but I'm hoping that Morgan will come in and kill the wolf because he's trying to kill Carol, and he knows that Carol she's on their side. She's on the side of the community.
Right.
That's what I'm hoping.
Well, S. Smith says, I think Morgan is going to leave on his own because he doesn't fit in with any group anymore. So
I think so too.
I
when
can see
all
that.
turns out, he'll end up leaving. I hope he doesn't die.
Yeah, I don't want him to die. Go away for a while and come back. I don't want him to die.
But where's he
I know a
going to
lot
go?
of people tired of him, but I don't want him to die.
I'm not tired of Morgan. I just don't like the whole all lives are precious.
I'm tired of the debate. Like, they need to come up with some rules or something and be like, okay, all lives are precious, but when you do this, this, and this, then we can kill you, and then just move on.
Right.
Like when you burn people.
It's almost like, and then and now the question was posed. Let's say there's so many reasons to kill that wolf. Because, all right, let's say you decide, all right, well, we're going to keep him alive. We're just going to jail him. Oh, if we jail him, then we got to feed his ass. That's taking away resources. There's so many reasons to kill him. Not even so much that he's a threat. So if we don't kill him, that means we got to take care of him. That's a problem.
But my thing is, how stupid was Morgan Toledo's keys? Or did they have a spare?
Where are the
I'm guessing Carol's got like some keys in
skeleton
her.
keys?
Got a set of
No,
her.
Carol had keys. Carol had keys.
She did.
Carol had keys all the way.
Carol had keys because she opened it up. Remember, she opened up the door,
Right.
Yes,
and Morgan was there to stop her.
I understand that, but remember Enid had a set of keys herself.
You know what? They got too many goddamn keys rolling around that community.
I'm telling you, this is too many. And you know what? I don't even think that them keys belong to Carol. Because if you look, she went through about 4 or 5 steps to try to open that door.
Yeah,
She didn't know what she said.
the keys that Enid left behind. I just said some things about some of the scenes that we're like supposed to assume that we know what the hell's going on, and then they turn around and mess up the scene, and then we have to question their direct.
You know, where the hell Carol get them damn keys from?
Thank
You know, how many sets of keys? They got a key making machine there in the community
First
too.
of all, Carol does not belong having those keys.
No.
No, those keys should have gone from Deanna to Rick. Like, because didn't Deanna pass the torch on to Rick? Like, you're the leader or some sort. So it's either Deanna's keys or Rick's keys, and I feel like Carol is doing too much.
Maybe Carol got the keys when Rick and them left on the dry run, and that's why she had them, and she just never gave them back.
Or the ones.
She got too much rank. Clear. She got too much rank. I'm sorry. She got too much rank.
That community is so sloppy as far as organization, because how the hell, first of all, didn't anybody notice that there was a set of keys missing when Enid came around? Where's that set of keys that goes to all these houses? Nobody inquired about it. Enid just kept the keys. Nobody's questioning it. There's a lot of things that the show does not necessarily point out, and the keys is one of them. How the hell a kid get a set of keys that go to everybody's house? That's crazy.
I know how she got them.
That's what I want to know.
Was she living with Olivia at one point?
Yes, that's what she was saying. Yes.
So I want to believe. I think Olivia also had a set of keys for some reason. I don't know. Maybe to go into these empty houses to scavenge what they had, and then bring it back to her.
What the hell is why the hell does Olivia have a whole set of keys to the community? Why does she need them?
No,
what is her job to have all those keys?
No, I think it's just to scavenge the empty homes.
Why are they picking her to scavenge? She was afraid to fight any of the wolves that came in. Why is she being the one going through scavenging the houses?
I'm not talking about the war with the wolves. I'm talking about before. I'm talking about when they found the community in the beginning, and Olivia was in charge of the pantry. I'm just assuming that she may have gotten her own set of keys to go into these houses, get the stuff from those houses, and bring it back to the shopping, the shopping center, which is her place, which is the pantry.
The only thing I can think is maybe like they feel like they don't need to have keys, like they don't need to lock up because it's a very small community and everybody knows everybody.
Hell no! I'm definitely in the zombie apocalypse. I'm definitely locking my doors. I don't care how big the walls are. That's a done deal. I'm definitely locking the patio, the front door.
That's the only excuse I could come up with because they haven't given us any other reasons. So,
That's
we
ridiculous.
have to assume these things.
Well, they shouldn't. Because Morgan got a key from Rick to their house. So, I don't know. I don't care.
I have a question. Well, it's not a question. It's from Kay. She has a question. And this is actually from the...
You have a bunch of questions.
Hangout, yeah. She says, did anyone notice that when Rick was talking to Michonne, he talked packing up his family and leaving the Alexandrian behind, and he didn't mention Jesse?
Of course.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was a little confused. So he hit that and then left that, or what? Is that what that was?
Wait, when did he talk about packing up his family?
Yeah, he just was talking. They were talking about how to get the walkers away.
Right.
That's what I thought. I thought he was just talking about, trying to get the herds to go away. But I didn't think he ever mentioned packing up and leaving Alexandria. And then I think the last season he was all about, we're not leaving, we're gonna just take this place. So I think he would kill all the Alexandrians before he packed up and left.
It wouldn't pass Rick to do it too.
I did notice that he called them the people. Like, he don't even remember that. He was just like, we're going to bring the people along when we have time. I'm like...
So I guess at this point, he just gave up on them, pretty much, in this episode. He just kind of was like, I give up.
He initially gave up on them, but like towards the end, you can see that he was, like, you know what? I'm being a little hard on the Alexandrians.
But see, I'm confused because you giving up on certain people. You know what I'm saying? If you giving up on everybody, why you sitting up here teaching Ron to shoot?
Yeah.
Why, you giving up on certain people, but you helping the wrong ones out. So I'm confused on that.
Right. Yeah. True.
This don't make no sense.
True that. Oh, but you know what? Let me ask you guys something. Okay, let me ask you guys something. So, we all have a sense of the fact that Ron is focusing on killing. It's either Carl or his father. Okay, and everybody is speculating that it's going to happen next week. What if? And this is the shipper in me, right? What if Ron, who they already pointed out on the show, he's not really good with shooting and everything. What if he shoots Michonne? Doesn't have to necessarily be in the eye or anything. But what if everybody is waiting for Ron to shoot Carl? What if in that transference he misses Carl and hits Michonne?
Ooh.
Hey, you have to.
And like I said, this is the shipper mind within me. But it's almost very obvious. It's very obvious that everybody or the general audience can see that Ron's got it out for Carl and Rick. That's so obvious. It's so obvious. Why wouldn't they? If I was a writer on the show, I would switch it up and I would have his shot miss Carl or Rick and hit somebody else. I'm only saying Michonne only because as much as people were in an uproar over Glenn possibly being dead, can you imagine what people would think about if Michonne got hit and we have to wait, 2 months to find out if she's still alive or not? Oh,
I'd be pissed.
That would be torture. But that would also keep people engaged and coming back on February 14th. People would want to know.
Something to think about. I haven't really thought of the bullet hitting Michonne.
But I thought we agreed that like he's gonna try and shoot Rick, and then it's gonna end up hitting Carl instead. So that's
it could happen that way. He probably isn't a good shot, but I'm just saying everybody's still expecting that as well. They're expecting him to aim. Let's say for Rick, it's going to hit Carl in the eye, and then we get the comic book story. But why not deviate from that? Have Michonne hit, possibly, or Michonne hit and somehow it ricochet and hit Carl in the eye. Because I definitely don't want to see that little boy walking around the next couple of seasons with a patch on his eye. But what if that was the case, and then something like that would be so shocking to Rick that he would come out of his funk or whatever he got going with Jesse, be like, I'm cutting off her arm. Are you kidding? Michonne is shot. We need her. That kind of thing. But like I said, that's the shipper in me.
They're never going to give Richonne that kind of moment.
Yeah,
I mean, awesome.
Happens, so it's hard for me to comment. But I would rather if like Jesse was holding on to Michonne and then he cut off her arm to save her. But that's not gonna happen either. So just get on with it. Get her gone.
Yeah. Do you guys think it's going to happen in the mid-season finale? Because she has Judas. How is that going to work?
Let's say Carl has Judas. Oh, you mean when they're going out?
Yeah, because, is the big chop going to happen 8 or is it going to happen 9? She's got the baby.
No, it's going to happen next episode.
I don't know how it's going to happen, but none of it makes sense to me. Like, if they're in a house with doors, why are you going to leave your house? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Why did they leave in the comments? I can't remember.
What was that, Ash?
I can't remember why they left in the comments, but I don't know. Does anyone remember?
They left in the comments, if I'm not mistaken. They left because there were just so many walkers that they felt so the door they could actually pressure themselves on the doors and the windows and get in there somehow. But
Well, then couldn't they just go up the stairs because walkers
yeah,
can't
I
climb?
was just getting ready to say that. I don't know why they didn't go up the stairs, but when you think about it, going up the stairs, you can't really cut off the stairs in the house. Let's say the walkers break in through the windows and the doors, then you stuck upstairs, and then you steady fighting the walkers that keep trying to come, but they can't walk upstairs. That's right, they can't walk upstairs. They can't walk upstairs.
But you can't get out.
So did they say?
But you can't get out. But you can't get out.
Yeah, but you got a bottleneck at the staircase. Just keep killing the walkers until they're all dead.
Well, maybe they just don't want them tearing the house down.
But then you have walkers, even still while you're killing the walkers on the stairs, you're drawing more noise and to the house, so that wouldn't work either. I wouldn't want to be stuck upstairs. That sounds like a death sentence waiting to happen. Either you die from.
Well, I mean, but look at what happened with
starvation.
Glenn. He was completely surrounded, and then like he killed off a few, and then they got bored and walked off. So I imagine that's what I would be thinking. Like, just go up the stairs and wait it out.
But could you keep Judith? Could you keep Judith from crying because she's hungry or thirsty for that period of time upstairs?
Well, apparently they did that whole time they were on the road, so.
Yeah, right? Didn't they?
That's true. She was living off of acorns, y'all. Remember acorns.
Poor Judith. She's going to have such a digestive problem when she gets older from eating acorns.
Like with that Judah situation, I really thought that Maggie was going to say, when I saw Judah, she just started walking. But she's like, no, you look like your mama.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I thought she was going to say that. Yeah. I thought she was going to say that too. I didn't know she was going to say Lori.
She looking more and more like Lori. I was like, okay. Awkward.
That is the wrong baby, because that baby doesn't look like Lori at all.
No. That baby look like a little mixed baby. It got a little tan. I'm like,
oh my God, thank you, Tennille. I told my husband that. I said, honey, that looks like
baby tan. You know?
The baby looks Hispanic, yeah.
Oh my goodness. It just, oh gosh.
All I know is that baby is as cute as they want to be.
Yeah, she's a cute baby.
We watch it like crazy too.
Yes.
I like the
Yeah.
Are you looking at some of these questions over here? Simple 4321 just said bite your tongue. Michonne will not get shot. You need to go sit in the corner, bad girl.
All I'm doing is throwing out scenarios. I'm throwing out scenarios, and I'm getting hate. I'm sorry. I'm still a shipper. I'm still a Richonne shipper. Forgive me. I'm so sorry.
Lady, you got red through the comments, girl.
I know, right? I'm sorry. I'm just trying to write a compelling story. That's all. Right now, the way I'm seeing it, just like with Glenn surviving by pulling himself under the dumpster, I said I can see that happening. It was too predictable. Everything that from this point on is almost, we know that supposedly Jesse's gonna die, Ron's gonna die. This is like in stone practically. So I'm just giving a scenario of what if they try and surprise us, which they don't. They don't surprise us.
They're not gonna surprise us.
They're not. They don't. But I'm just saying, for a compelling story, what if they switch it up? Hey, switch it up, Gimple, from the comic. Do something different.
Basically, this whole season has been different from the comics. The only thing that's going to be the same is the big chop. So
right.
Well, the thing about the comics is really nothing to do until No Way Out. So I think he just like created this really weird story.
Just for the sake of it, yeah.
It, but
You shouldn't have.
because you couldn't do anything before the mid-season finale with No Way Out. So
Do you guys think that with this Glenn death, them trying to fake us out, do you think that this show has jumped the shark, so to speak, as far as with writing concerned? Because it was a really cheap way. I don't know. There was something about that Glenn thing that I did not care for, and they know that people didn't care for it because they had Stephen Young come on to Talking Dead. What for? What? You're not supposed to care. They must know that they did something really bad with this Glenn thing.
Yeah, it didn't go over well. It did.
It did not go over well at all.
Especially when you had pictures of this dude still filming. It was like, what's the point?
Yeah. You know, they took his name out the credits, you know, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, I love Glenn. I love Glenn, and I don't want him to die. Don't get me wrong. I don't want him to die, but that was, I don't know. It seemed like, oh, dag, you really desperate for ideas. Y'all gonna do this? You know, like that. That's how it felt.
I think the way they handled it was just the worst part of all. Like, if you had played the story straight and even answered it in the next episode, episode 5, we'd be like, okay. But to drag it out to episode 7 and then act like he's dead, and we'll see him again, maybe parts of him. It's like, shut up.
Good say he ain't dead.
Right.
I agree with you. Yeah.
And the thing about it was that with the thing with Glenn, and when I never forget, when I first saw it, I said, what the hell, is Glenn an alien? Why is his intestines coming up on his chest? You know, it's like they pull him from it. So I knew that there was something wrong with the way, how his intestines get to his chest. That's crazy. But it would have seemed as though if you're going to go through all, and I mean, I knew that he was going to pull himself under that goddamn dumpster. I spent weeks while we was waiting for the answer. I said, that's the only way he got out of it. There's no way he could come out of it. Pulling himself under that dumpster. It just seemed really cheap that they made us wait this long only to say, oh, yeah, he's alive. Well, yeah, we knew he was alive. We seen pictures of him, you know, since you guys recorded that episode. It just seemed ridiculous to me. That's why I'm asking if
he shouldn't have posted a message either on Talking Dead. He shouldn't have said anything. He just moved along.
Right.
Yeah, you know what? I would have preferred that myself. Don't put him on there for a message. Stand behind your product. You wrote this shit.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
They know
Don't bring Steven on there to talk about, oh, I'm so sorry you guys had to go through this. No, stand behind your product. No, Steven, you ain't going on there. Probably 95% of the general audience know that you're not dead. No, we moving on. It's the story. Keep it going. And so that's what, and that just only gives credence to the fact that they do listen to the uproar from the general audience, number one, because they know everybody was so pissed about waiting to find out what happened with Glenn. And that's why they brought him on there. Other than that, why bring him on there? Not bring him on, and not even bring him on Talking Dead, but just have a recorded video of it.
Right.
Who told him to do that? What was it, AMC? AMC decided, oh, we getting a whole lot of hate mail behind this. We need to get Steven on there to apologize to the people. Like, he wrote the shit. He didn't write it. He's the actor. He's the actor. Why is he apologizing?
I was going to make it better. Seeing, Stephen Young, I was going to make it better. But I think people are still kind of like, really? You made us wait this long? And it was a waste.
Yeah. It was.
I'm just still glad that he's alive. Now, you know who I want to die? I'm going to tell you right now. I want Tara to die.
I've been saying I want Tara to die. I've been saying it.
Now y'all know I've been saying I've been wanting Tara to die.
I'm just by saying that I'm just gonna go ahead and ask simple 4321 questions. She said, did anyone feel like Andy Lincoln was overacting that scene when he was yelling at Tara? He sounded like
No.
Shane. Maybe that was the point. What do you all think?
I don't.
I just didn't understand what she did that was so dangerous. I kept
Yeah,
watching it.
that was the only thing that I agree with. I don't know why he yelled at her, but I don't think he overacted. But I don't know why. What was the point of him yelling at her like that?
I just thought that it was the fact that she would risk her life like that without.
But did she actually? But did she risk her life? She didn't go down there, right?
But she went over. She went over the
It takes some upper strength to hold on to those.
This is what I need to
have to hold
again
on
about
with one
that
hand
thing.
and shoot. So it takes a lot. She could have flipped and fell into the water.
Yes. And you guys need to understand the beams was on the opposite side.
Yeah, so she's holding on to this beam. And then when she ran out of bullets, she couldn't get back up there. Michonne had to help her get back up.
Okay.
So she was leaning over the side?
Yeah, she went completely over the side.
Literally over the side of the fence.
So she was.
Yes.
Okay.
His anger to me was justifiable. His anger to me was justifiable. Her finger, on the other hand, wasn't justifiable. I didn't get it. Can someone explain that to me, please?
Somebody just wanted to get. It was just like, I think so many people want to give Rick the middle finger, so they were like, let's just throw it in there and we'll give it to Tara. Right. And everybody be like, yeah, Rick, you deserve the middle finger, you know?
Yeah, but he got the finger for the wrong reason.
I wouldn't, as much as y'all know how much I hated Tara. I hated Tara since the moment she came on the show. I didn't see her purpose, but I liked her in this episode where she gave Rick the finger. That was something, that was like a buck move, you know, like, fuck you. You know, say, you're not, I'm trying to save him, all right? You know, I like that. I mean, I still wanted to die. I mean, that was an awesome episode, but I liked her in this episode, and I haven't liked her in any of her episodes, ever.
No, that still bothered me. She risked her life. And
but then can we talk about the whole Spencer scene, the iconic scene that I felt like was lackluster? I was very upset. Because it is a comic, but why Spencer? Why couldn't it be somebody who's more important to us? Why Spencer?
Because he's the only one dumb enough to do that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. He's the only one stupid enough to try and do something like that.
You didn't even have to put that in there at that point. I felt like they just threw it in there because that was like a big comic book, you know.
I do too.
I didn't care. I was like, you know what? If they tear his legs off and eat them, I don't care. I wasn't on the edge of my seat on that part, really. I was just like, you're stupid. You're just stupid.
Right. I was looking
Whatever
at
happened.
This is dumb.
I'm with you, Tennille. I know that they're just trying to recreate, and it was a poor recreation of that comic book scene, because that comic book scene was it was intense. Yes. Andrea had been in the tower. She had, and I want to say she had been in there for like 48 hours or something like this, to the point where we have to get some food and water to her. That made it more intense. Doing that mess was just, it was a poor recreation, and they should not have done that one. I didn't like that at all. When I saw him going across it. What's that?
What happened in the comic?
In the comic, Andrea, the sharpshooter, she's in the tower when the herd comes into the community. And Andrea had been in there because the show is gonna make it go quicker, but actually the horde is in there for, I want to say, at least 1 to 2 days, something like this. The show is going to make it like it's a couple of hours, but in the comic it was like 1 to 2 days, and it was long enough so that Rick was worried about Andrea being stuck in the tower because she couldn't get down. And they was like, we got to get some food and water to her. So Glenn, it was Glenn and Heath, as a matter of fact. It was Glenn and Heath that went along the line trying to get the food and water to her. Wasn't it Glenn, Heath, and Spencer? Because remember, didn't Andrea like clock Spencer because he wanted to go ahead and leave the community?
You know what it was? He left them hanging. It was those three, and that's when she said he was a punk because he left them hanging. He was gonna leave them.
Right.
Yeah, it was him too.
But in the comic, it was so more intense because it's the three of them going across the line, and I think the line broke and Glenn almost fell down in it, and I think Glenn was the one who lost his shoe, not like in the show with Spencer, but it was in the comic. It was just way more intense, and I think it was
higher up. They were much higher up than what Spencer was.
Yeah,
Spencer was so close to those walkers. It was ridiculous. It's like you were a couple of feet up from the walkers.
Because Tania, when I think about it, weren't they high enough up? It was like rooftop high.
It was
it wasn't.
I mean, because it reached all the way to the tower. It reached all the way to the tower. They were high.
Yeah. Exactly. So it was much more intense because at the time when they was going across it in the comic, they could not only die from the walkers, they could die from the fall. Walkers. If they fall, they out. But it was way more intense in the comic, and I think that Gimple, or whoever wrote this episode was like, oh, well, make sure to add that comic book, thing in there, thing about going across the that line. And the other thing is that where did the line come from? What line is it? Did they draw it beforehand? What is it? Is it an electronic line? The telephone? What is it? What line is it?
It was a grappling hook. He threw it
how
over.
did nobody catch him? All the people up there keeping watch. How did we not catch Spencer? Like, how? How do y'all keep getting these hit and misses? I don't understand.
Yeah. I was sad to see that Spencer turned out the way that he did, though. I was like, oh, really? You're an asshole? All right.
He's his comic book counterpart.
I don't think he was an asshole. I just thought he was stupid.
Yeah, he's dumb. In the comics, he was really a douchebag.
He's an asshole because he gonna tell all them people don't take no food from the conservatory, and then he go and take some extra food. He's an asshole.
Yeah, I don't trust him. I don't trust Spencer. I don't. And then when his mama probably something happened to her, he really gonna lose it. I don't trust Spencer.
Oh, Tennille, what you talking about? So you remember in the comic, Douglas was the one that shoots Carl in the eye. So what if it's a case of when Deanna died, Spencer get pit? Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's the kind of stuff they need to put in the show. We all expecting this shootout to happen, but in the comic, Douglas is the one who gets mad because his wife dies. And he goes and starts shooting walkers and mistakenly shoots Carl in the eye.
Mm-hmm.
But the way Tennille was just describing it as I was listening to it, what if Spencer is the one that get pissed? Oh, my mother is dead. That's it. I'm killing any walker I see. And he mistakenly shoots Carl in the eye. There's something about it. There's going to be a twist about it. It's not going to be as simple as Ron shooting Carl in the eye. It can't be.
It is.
It's too obvious.
Yeah, I mean, they had already claimed it. They said it's going to be Ron. It's already a done deal. That is
but then that's very anticlimactic. Then the show becomes too predictable.
Everything about the season has been anticlimactic.
It's too predictable.
It's hard to be surprised when you read the comics. I think that the way they foreshadowed it, a lot of people see it coming, but with Jesse, nobody sees that part coming. So,
and I don't see how they don't see that coming.
I don't either, but maybe I'm just ready for her to die.
I just don't see how you don't, because the way they didn't drop that little storyline like a bad habit this past episode, that should tell you something.
Nope.
That tells me. That
Well,
tells
you
me
It
babysitting
just
now.
tells
Now
me
you
that it was a waste of
babysitting.
time. So why did they do it in the first place?
That's
exactly.
what I'm
That's
saying.
exact. That's what I was getting ready to
How
say,
you
baby K.
gonna
I was like,
build her up and then just kind of like throw her out to the side? I'm just saying. I ain't a fan of her, but I'm just saying that was a pointless.
It's for the
that.
shot of the
And
It's
mid-season.
contrived
that
bad
owl sculpture
writing.
don't look like an owl sculpture. I don't know what that is. Just saying.
What's she doing?
You know what? And just like
Looks like a
baby K
bag of
was saying,
garbage. It's
like
scrap.
baby K was saying, it was a bad story to begin with, and for whatever reason thus far, and we haven't even seen next week's episode, but for whatever reason, somebody in the back of their mind said, hey, we getting a lot of flack over this. Let's cut some of these parts with Jesse and Rick. People are really not liking it, and that's the thing about it. Out of all 8 episodes, people are saying that they hate it now the most. And the only thing I had a problem with the whole episode, but I liked the exchange between Maggie and Aaron. So I'm like, all right, I was feeling that. That was all right with me, but everybody hated that episode, and it's like, did they really hate it because of the Jesse thing? I mean, and when I'm saying that, I'm looking at it with shipper goggles on, because I know why I didn't like it, but really, everybody had a problem with this episode?
I didn't like it because there wasn't enough.
What is that? Well, but we always say that. There's never enough Michonne.
It was awkward, no Michonne. And like I said, I don't like Carol, but Carol wasn't there when I felt like she should have been in there somewhere. It was just all around just a way to cram in stuff that didn't need to be crammed in that episode.
And I think after that episode, the flack that they got behind it, I'm promising you, they cut something.
I don't think they've made any changes or have responded at all to the criticism. I think that was the story they were setting out to do from the first. I think this is what their intention all along was. Just I don't know what their intention was, but I don't think they've responded to the criticism. I think this is what was planned.
Their intention was to just get across as fast as possible, and just so that the mid-season finale will be a big shot. I don't know that they're that invested in it, honestly. They've only shown Jesse and Rick together like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're invested in anything. They're not invested in any of the characters. Other than Morgan. Morgan got some investment. Rick has got an investment, but I don't know what his purpose is, like what he's trying to do, what his motivations are. Everybody else has been like here and there. It's been a completely lackluster season so far.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was a bad season thus far. There was really, for me, just that one episode that was just off. It was about the Alexandrians, who I don't really care about, other than Aaron and Eric. I love them. And I love him. But that whole episode revolved around characters that I'm thinking that the majority don't really care about. And that's why that episode did not go over that well. But nonetheless, judging from what has happened so far, now that we're back in Alexandria, and they haven't made a focus of Rick and Jesse, I'm thinking they may have cut some things or whatever. Because why bring Stephen Young on there? He didn't die. He didn't die. Why are you making a special plea for people?
I think they brought him on.
He was back.
Because people were worried about his character, and they didn't see him when his character died on the show. So this is the conclusion to that arc. So they brought him on for that. I think it was his episode for the most part. Like he was the main part. I think that's why he was on.
You know what'd be cool if after all this trouble, them bringing Glenn back and everything, he died by the hands of Negan still in the last episode. That would be a kick in the ass.
I don't think it's gonna be Glenn.
Oh,
I don't
I'll be
think.
very disappointed.
So bad.
Ooh, you best,
That would be
best not.
so wrong. That would be wrong.
Better
Yeah, but
not.
it would be
I'll go with
hard
that.
though. Glenn is not gonna get Lucille. He's not gonna.
No, because I'm sorry,
No,
it's time for Daryl to go. And whoever want to get mad can get mad. But it's time for him to go. I'm sorry, he didn't want out his welcome. It's time. It's time.
I
That's
agree.
what they
Saying
say
it
about that.
again.
At the American Music Award, Lonnie from the Reel, there was a moment I was watching the Reel today, and she was asking, the artist, say something that you're thankful for, for Thanksgiving and whatnot. And Norman, his response was like, it was quick, and like he just didn't want to be bothered with it. But he was like, I'm just glad season 6 is done.
really?
Wow.
Nah.
Wow.
I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Well, me too.
That is interesting. That is interesting.
Everybody don't like that season 6, huh?
Well, we know according to Emmy and Andrew Lincoln, clearly they're not crazy about season 6.
Not even 6B.
Not crazy about it at all.
Not even 6B.
Because we'll see in 6B, but Andrew Lincoln from a year ago in February had a problem with this Jesse story arc. So
Yeah.
it's Norman Reedus and Andrew Lincoln that had a problem with this at least part of the season.
Yeah, she's on her street. So if you take.
Well,
and they had a problem with this particular part of the season.
Well, as far as Norman Reedus, all he been doing is riding on that bike. Ain't really had much to do.
Yes.
Doing stupid stuff.
Yes.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be mad too what you're doing to my character, but it's still time for him to go, though. Still time for him to go. I'm just saying, no, really. Not trying to be mean or nothing, but it's just time for him to go.
No, I don't want Daryl to go. I want them to develop him a little bit more. I don't want Daryl to go. I like Daryl. I like Daryl.
Uh-uh.
I know, that's the thing about it. They're not really doing nothing with him. That's what's pissing me off. I see what you're saying, but
They're not
he's
doing
kind of
anything with anyone. All of the characters are like stalled. I guess that's why they're focusing on the Alexandrians, because they think they can do something different with them. But we've seen the same stories over and over again. We saw this stuff in season 2.
Yeah. Season 2 and season 3. Rick going crazy again. Really? You going crazy again? You got your
But
kids.
you know what? I'm just sick and tired of them saying this PTSD. I'm tired of hearing the word. I'm tired of hearing it. Can we just get over that? Y'all been in the zombie apocalypse, what's going on, however many years it's been, 2 years or something? Can we just let this go?
Well, PTSD is definitely a long-term thing, all right? I don't think you get rid of it that easily.
Okay, but everybody, well, you got to blame it on PTSD. They got to blame it on PTSD. They got to blame it on PTSD. Maggie's not going through PTSD.
I would think that everybody is going through PTSD. The question is, why is Rick, who still has both of his kids, still going through it when everybody else around him has lost all of their families? And everybody around him that he's traveling with is geared to making sure his kids survive. But he's got the worst PTSD? Really? He can't get it together?
So, yeah.
Are you doing all right there, Ash? You look
I'm
really
going
irritated.
I think Rick has the most to lose, so it makes sense that he'd be kind of the craziest right now. I don't know. I'm tired. I should go to bed.
I'm just looking for this video.
I am looking forward to seeing next week's episode, and I made sure to take off and everything so I could stay up late to watch it and everything. And I was like, man, I hope I'm not disappointed by the episode because I took the day off Monday so I could stay up late and I could be on Tumblr and hang out with you guys and everything so I could watch this episode because, you know, in spite of what I'm saying and everything on Tumblr, it's like, well, I'm excited about this episode. This is the episode for the chop. You know, I want to see it happen, you know, like that. So I hope that chop is just too iconic. They cannot deprive us of this. They just can't. They can't. They wouldn't do that, right?
I don't think so. I think we'll get it. I just don't know if we're going to get it in the mid-season finale.
Well, one of those spoiler places said it's 100% or 99.9% is happening in episode 8.
It just throws me off with the baby because I know when we saw the spoilers come out, they didn't mention anything about Judith. So to see
Carl had her.
Judith, you know,
They said Carl has her under a poncho or something.
Oh,
is that right? I thought I thought the baby was still with Jesse.
But right now, yeah.
Wait, so Carl gets shot when he's holding Judith?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Are you saying that Carl gets shot while he's holding Judith?
Yeah.
And they said she survives, so I don't know how that works, but yeah.
See, it's a twist in there. It's a twist in there. There's a twist.
Yeah. I'm still confused about Judith. I know it's not a big thing, but when I read the spoilers, I thought they said Judith was safe. Like, I thought she was in a house with somebody safe.
That's where she should be, but
you know, so now that she's in here with, you know, Jesse, I kind of am like, how's that gonna work? But we'll see. Whatever. This is on the big topic.
We just got less than a week until we find out what happened.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, even as crazy as Rick is, I'd be really disappointed if he allowed Jesse to carry Judith out the house amongst all the walkers and everything. It's like, oh man, you must really be off your rocker. You gonna give this novice the job of taking care of your baby as opposed to Carl or Michonne or yourself?
Right.
No. Michonne's already proven herself. Yeah.
What?
I hope he redeems himself.
Well, from the spoilers, he is that they put out today.
You know, I was thinking about it earlier with Father Gabriel and Morgan's philosophy, right? So you have the two. You have Gabriel and you have the wolf. You know, if you hold fast to Morgan's philosophy, aren't you supposed to spare the life of Father Gabriel? It's because he's shown remorse over it. I mean, if you have to weigh the two, you have the wolf and you have Father Gabriel. Is it that serious with Father Gabriel?
Wait, who's trying to kill Father Gabriel?
No, not trying to kill. I'm saying if you had to weigh, but if you're using Morgan's philosophy of weighing both lives, the wolf and Father Gabriel, it's clear that Rick dislikes Father Gabriel and is, you know, he's holding everything in to not kill him. But using Morgan's philosophy, doesn't it work on Father Gabriel? He's shown remorse. He's shown that, yeah, I have the ability to change, and then you have the wolf who is like, I don't plan on changing. So you have the two there. How does isn't Morgan's philosophy supposed to work with the wolf and Father Gabriel?
But Rick doesn't have Morgan's philosophy. I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm not sure what your question is.
what I'm saying is that doesn't Morgan's philosophy work for all of us with Father Gabriel? Nobody
Oh,
wants to see Father Gabriel die, right? Nobody.
like us,
Everybody.
us in this chat or Rick? Like
Um,
us, you
us,
asking us?
us in this. Okay, I'll say us in this chat.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You can use Morgan's philosophy and apply it to Father Gabriel and feel confident in it because he's shown that he's willing to change. Whereas Morgan's philosophy doesn't necessarily apply to the wolf. But if you hold the philosophy, I guess you would say, of Rick for the time being, he's like, kill all of them. And kill Father Gabriel too. I just haven't gotten around to him, but he'll still be here. I'll take care of him later. You know.
I think Rick doesn't like Gabriel, but I don't think he wants to kill him.
But doesn't Gabriel?
He doesn't really have a reason to kill Gabriel either. Yeah.
He's a danger to the group. He don't want to fight. He knows his backstory. Why trust him?
Gabriel didn't want to fight because he felt guilty, but he did end up killing that walker. So I think
walker? You mean in season 5?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think, and based on spoilers as well, like if it comes down to it, I think Gabriel, like he's going to be ineffectual at it, but I think he does want to defend, himself, and he wants to defend the family. So I think, I don't have any problems with Gabriel now that he's like come to the realization that he can be just as bad as anyone else that he's trying to judge. That was my issue with Gabriel.
Well, think about it with last season when we didn't know this Gabriel who's really willing to redeem himself. Back then when it first happened, what was it, the last episode? When he was bad-mouthing the group? You would have warned that. I mean, I would have warned it. Say, oh, kill his ass. Say he tried to throw us under the bus. We carried him all the way here. I would have been of that mindset, but then Morgan's,
Morgan. He was wrong to throw them under the bus, but it wasn't worth killing them over. I don't think you need to kill people that disagree with you. I think you just kill people who try to kill you.
I don't think it was a disagreement as much as he's trying to prop himself up behind his own guilt. And he's willing to go ahead and have the people that brought him to Alexandria, he's willing to, have them kicked out behind it.
I don't know why he did it, and he's apologized for it, and then he went to Carl and he's like, you were right, you need to teach me how to fight. So I don't have any issues with Father Gabriel at the moment.
No, I don't have any issues with him either, but I'm just saying that if you held fast to what Rick was talking about, and that these people are weak and this, and not only did he leave his parishioners out there to die, but he's gonna throw us under the bus too. Had Rick not found out about it back then, he probably would have exiled him. But he didn't. So I don't know, maybe he felt as though he wasn't a threat.
But that's still going back to I don't know what's going on with Rick.
Right.
Talking about the Alexandrians
can't get
take
in that head
over, and he's like, I don't know what's going on with Rick.
Okay, so I can't find that video. I'm hoping that'll.
You were looking for it.
Oh, you were still looking for it.
But I missed that.
I didn't even know you were still looking for it.
I am. Yes, I am, because it was really funny. Some of the things that people were saying on the comments was hilarious. But they have the Lonnie Love of the AMEs for last year, but I'm gonna wait for tomorrow so I can load it up. I know, I'm sorry, but I want to change the subject because I don't really like talking about Father Gabriel and his demons. Okay? So
Okay. All right, change it, girl.
4321 has been on a roll, and if you don't mind, Baby Kid, I would like to tackle some of these questions that she has because they're like really good. And she Simple 4321. I'm probably going to get some negative feedback from this, but I'm having a hard time watching Rick and not feeling somewhat irritable. I think it has to do with that Jesse scene. Is anyone else feeling like this?
Me, I'm still irritated.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing that he's done that has made me, like, not a Richonne shipper. Like, everything that he's done, he can come back from. But I'm just still
Right.
irritated with him, and nothing that he has done has been addressed.
And I'm tired. And like I said, I'm tired of them blaming PTSD. I'm tired of that. Give me something else. Quit saying that with him.
Well, or if it is
God.
PTSD, then, like, have him address it. Have him be like, I need to talk to someone. I need to deal with my feelings. I don't know what he can do about it, but nothing has been done about it, and
He's
it's
getting
not
worse
being
and worse.
addressed.
Come
Well,
on, Ashley.
I can't
Gotta say,
justify.
You got
girl.
something to say.
I don't want to say
Come
it.
on, Ashley.
No, just
say
say
it.
it. I want to hear it.
I'm not saying anything. Go ahead, y'all.
Oh, you know.
I'll just say this, like, I'm irritated with him, but I don't hate him, and I'm really glad that, you know, he didn't sleep with Jesse, so I feel confident that I can, like, that Richonne can come back from this, and I hope that they will, but I'm still irritated with this whole season because the focus has been on the wrong people, the stories have been repetitive, and you know, there's so much potential, and it was just none of it was lived up to. And I shouldn't be surprised, but it's still disappointing.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what to say about that.
I mean, I agree with that too. I
Yeah, I
haven't
agree.
watched this season, like, but at the same time, I also expected not to, I guess. So I'm just like, all right, just give me to the part that I want to see, and maybe it'll get better next half season.
I'm right with you, Ash. I'm right there with you. just take me there, like, right now, so I can pop these champagne poppers and drink my glass of wine and ring in the new year like it is the new year.
Right.
It came early.
Yeah.
Like, what did that claimant say? New Year's came early. Let's do the countdown.
And then, you know
I'm
what?
really
And then
gonna have
hopefully
champagne
Rick
next
can
week.
actually get back to the Rick that I loved in season 4. After
Yeah,
the
season
Claimers.
4 Rick was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I like that Rick. I like his face. I love his beard. Everything was perfect. He was so beautiful and amazing. Oh my God! I think
How long has Andy's beard gotten now? Like, wasn't he kind of growing it out a bit?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's going back. It is. It's coming back. It's making a comeback.
I hope
Yeah.
not. I cannot stand the Moses beard.
No, not the Moses beard, the season 4 beard, or the
Season 4 beard was
that is prime Rick. You know, when he's just a little bit crazy, but he's crazy in a good way, and he protects the people that he loves, and he's smart. Not like this guy that we've seen for the past since they reached Alexandria.
Yeah.
It's like something went downhill after Terminus. It's just something. I don't know if it was the writing or the way, you know, not having a home, being misguided, something. It's just something.
I was fine with Alexandria, honestly. When he cut the beard, that's when he started getting on my nerves.
He needs the beard back.
He needs the beard back.
Well, you know what? And then, you know what? Maybe the beard is his I guess I don't want to say his weapon, I guess, of sanity or some sort. being
He, like,
beardless could
cramps
be his
him.
kryptonite.
When you
I
cut
don't
his
know.
hair, his power, he loses his power.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Girls.
Just,
Nancy ruined him.
oh my God, she sure did.
Literally and figuratively.
But
So we have another. Do we have any more questions?
yeah,
Anyone?
there's more.
How about this one? Simple 4321 says, do you think Rick makes the connection that he trained Ron and then he shot Carl? Do you think he loses his shit like he did when Lori died?
Bloop. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that'll be a part of him coming back is realizing that his actions led directly to Carl getting shot.
You messed with Jesse. You took in her son. You shot him. You taught him how to shoot, and look at what your consequences are. So there you go.
In our amazing Richonne moment there, I see some amazing dialogue going between them.
There could be.
Can I ask
There
y'all a
is
question?
potential for some
You
amazing.
know when they were on the porch and they were talking, and she goes, "Really, Rick? Really? Did y'all think for a second she was gonna bring up Jesse?"
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
thought for a second she was gonna be like, "Really, Rick? What about Jesse?" I was like, I really thought she was gonna go there. I was like, ooh.
And
That
then
is
Deanna
exactly
just
what I
came at
thought.
such a crippling time that just, I screamed. Because I feel like they need to have this conversation. I mean,
They do, but people keep on interrupting them. Dang.
just I did want it a moment where Michonne was like, "Can you go away for just a minute, Deanna?" Because some truth is coming out here. I don't know, but I was very angry.
I think for a second there, Rick was kind of irritated. He was like, "Deanna," you know, he was like, "Deanna." We don't need to be talking about that right now. I'm having a conversation with Michonne.
I also want to bring up his body language too. If you guys notice, whenever he does scenes with when Andy does scenes with Denai, you get like you get like heart and soul and everything in that scene. It's like you're there with them, or sometimes you feel like, oh my God, this is like too private. Should I even be here to watch this? I just I just feel like he really wants everyone to know, because he's just so method. He just wants everybody to know. I think he acts completely different when he does scenes with Alexandra.
Right.
It's just that he
I
could
do
just see it.
It's so funny.
I don't know. I was just really happy that they had a conversation, and then it was rudely interrupted. Thanks a lot, Deanna. Thanks a lot.
Well, what do you guys think about Michonne taking the plans and looking at them? Like, do you think there might be some foreshadowing that she'll like take up the leadership position of like making sure the plan actually gets put into place?
Yes, I do. I agree. Why did she take the plan? So I do agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see her having a big part in that.
Wonderful leader. I think she will. I think she'll just she'll take the leadership from Rick too.
But
I don't know that she'll take
is,
it from Rick, but I hope that it indicates that she'll take a part in rebuilding Alexandria after the Horde goes
don't
through.
just give us that and then don't do nothing with it. She falls to the background again. You know, so I hope that that's some of her story that they're going to do with her. Hope so.
They said in the spoilers for next week that Deanna, when she dies, has a conversation with Rick and Michonne. I think that's kind of
right.
Like to them as leaders.
Right.
I think that'll be nice.
I wonder what that conversation is gonna be about. Like, now you know you
I
care
hope
for
it's
her,
good.
and she care for you. You too. You know. I don't know.
I thought you two were together when you
Or
got
maybe
here.
she pulled their hands and
Yeah.
joined together or
She could
something.
marry
Y'all are
him.
the
She'll be
power
like the
couple.
captain of the ship or whatever.
Yeah, y'all need to get it together. Y'all are the power couple. Come on, you too. President, First Lady. You know.
I'm giving this to both of you. Make it work.
We know how to wait. Don't you fuck this one. Don't you fuck it out. I'll come back and I'll hunt you.
Oh my goodness.
I'm kind of sad she's gonna die though. That sucks.
Oh, yeah, I really wanted her to be around a little while longer. I really did.
I like
With
her.
that frizzy hair. I wanted her to be around.
Good for her.
Since we're bringing up predictions, Simple 4221 would like to know a couple for episode 8. We know Jesse dies. What else happened?
Ron, get her call this shot.
Who do you guys think is gonna die? How about let's do those kind of predictions? Who do you is gonna be okay? Jesse, her family, Deanna. Gotta be somebody from Team Rick's family too.
I'm okay if Tara goes.
You know, I think Tara's gonna go because I saw a picture of Denise with her jacket on
Oh.
in 6B. So maybe something happened to her because she was wearing her jacket.
I just think it's just time. So, and then you know what? I think Eugene is gonna save Rosita, and then Rosita's gonna apologize for being such a bitch to Eugene. I don't know.
She didn't have to do him like that though. She know he's scared.
She led her from A to Z. That was so rude.
Right.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Right.
I take that back.
True.
I really do take that back. Rosita wasn't being a bitch to Eugene. Rosita was just trying to make Eugene stronger.
But he don't
There's some
never.
tough love,
But what
that's for
happened
sure.
after that? What happened after that when Tara told him go get Rosita and them to tell them to come and help? I don't think that I could do that. I can't get out there and I can't go get the help. I'm sorry. I can't. Sounded like the cowardly lion. You know, I heard you that I can't know.
Oh my God.
Still didn't listen.
Oh,
So
God.
wait.
Oh my God.
Well, why are we discussing this? When this man's life is at stake and possibly she can't get herself back up over the pole or whatever. And you up here talking about what you can't do. Just saying.
I don't know. I think he'll have his moment. I think he'll have his moment in the mid-season, hopefully.
You mean this?
Well, apparently he was the one that radioed Daryl and Sasha, so maybe he like tells them where they can get in or something. I don't know.
And it does look like he's stuck outside. They showed in the trailer it looks like he's hiding or he gets out. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe.
So
Is Sasha and Eve and Daryl gonna be back there, or are they?
I really don't see them coming back until like the tail end of everything.
Maybe.
So like in 6B?
That's what I think. I say if they come in 6A, episode 8, it'll be at the very end when Rick up there slicing and dicing walkers. You know what I'm saying? And they see this, and I guess they come in and they help.
Maybe so.
But I don't see them being there when everything goes to hell. I see them coming in at the very end of episode 8.
Yeah, me too.
But could you imagine if they did come back and just to see Abraham in that uniform fighting? I couldn't take it serious. I couldn't. Couldn't take it serious.
Maybe he'll take off the jacket and fold it up neatly before he goes out.
Oh, like uniform.
He did look nice in his uniform, though. He did look nice.
I was just getting ready to say that moment when Sasha saw him in his uniform, it probably reminded her of Bob because of the jacket. That was a service jacket that he wore.
That who wore?
That
Abe?
Bob used to wear.
Oh,
Well,
right.
yeah, he was in the service, right? He was a medic.
Yeah, he was an army medic,
He was a
and
medic.
when she saw Abraham in uniform, she did a pause, and first I thought it was a pause like oh, you look silly in that damn outfit, but I think it was a pause in remembrance of Bob and his uniform and his jacket.
That's nice. No, that is. I didn't notice that.
We have any more questions? Any more?
Well, some of them was like directed at me.
Camille asked something a while ago. She said, how many people jumped up when they saw Ron following Carl and pulled a gun? Or popped confetti when the watchtower dropped the wall, since that meant a step closer to our hopes?
I missed it.
Can you reread it again, Kay?
So Camille said, how many people jumped up when they saw Ron following Carl and pulled a gun? Or popped confetti when the watchtower dropped the wall, since that meant a step closer to our hopes?
Oh.
I didn't jump up. But when I saw that with Ron and Carl, I was just kind of like, show you right. Y'all shouldn't have gave him that gun. That was where I was at with it, to be honest.
I was just really happy when the wall came down. I almost did like throw confetti. I'm like, it's happening finally, y'all.
You was starting early.
Ash, that's the same thing I was thinking when I saw the thing crash out and they did it, and that was real great cinematography. When the steeple came down and crushed through, I was rubbing my hands together. I was like, oh yeah, like that. I was rubbing my hands together. I was like, here it comes. That's exactly
But for me, I would have liked it. The walkers broke the gate down. To me, that would have been more impactful than just having that tower come down.
Well, I think the walls may have been too strong, clearly, because all they had saw was the walkers leaning against, and they were pressing hard enough so that they're bleeding through, but it wasn't necessary. The wall was holding up, put it that way. It was holding up.
Where did they get all that wood and stuff? Did they take it from the outside?
Yeah, right. Well, they probably got a lumber yard. They probably got all that wood from. They probably got some kind of wood shop going there, the same place that make the keys for everybody. You know, so they all at that shop, that carpenter shop that they got there. But nonetheless, when I saw that tower coming down, I was like, oh, damn, it's getting ready to go down. And so, like I said, we got to see the chop. It has to be Jesse. If it's not Jesse, I think a whole bunch of people are going to be disappointed. That's all I'm saying.
I would stop watching the show if it's not Jesse.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I can see them not getting together. It's not happening if Ron is the one that shoots out the son's eye, whatever. But still, I'm going to be really mad if it ain't her. I'll be done.
I think that comic book scene, if you guys have seen the comic, it's an iconic scene, and it's not so much about how the girl looked in the comic compared to the show. The scene is so like cut and dry because Rick don't hesitate once to cut that woman's arm off.
That's true.
And it's I don't think we've seen that on TV just yet. You know, like you say, the guy sleep with a woman or is infatuated with a woman. It's like, I ain't that infatuated with you and cut off her arm and roll out, you know, that kind of thing. So
Right.
that's a big deal. I don't think we've seen that yet.
Yeah, they have to do it like the same way, and I think they will.
You pop out on that, you really did lost a lot of fans, I think. You've already got
Yeah.
people mad with this Glenn thing, and if you don't do
Yeah.
this, yeah, it's a done deal. Done deal.
They don't like I was just asking y'all earlier, did y'all feel as though the show jumped the shark with this Glenn thing? If they was to do something like that and not do the chop, it would be like, yeah, Lainey, yeah, they jumped the shark. I don't know what happened, but they must have run out of stories or something. If they don't do that chop is iconic. Everybody's waiting for it.
I mean, yeah, you did all this to us to make the chop like a shocking moment. You better go through it.
It has to happen.
And then on top of that, she's got that owl tattoo on her arm. Just a dead giveaway.
I can't wait
So
to see it on the ground. I really can't.
You know, speaking of the tattoo on her arm, did you guys see the? Did you guys?
what happened?
Did you guys see the awful artwork
Yes.
that he was working on?
Well, no, I said it didn't look like an owl. What was it? It looked like pieces of scrap. It don't look like no owl.
I'm so sorry. I don't know, but I couldn't stop laughing.
I mean, I know Rick tore it up. I know he ran into it and tore it up, but dang, what is it? It's not no owl. I don't know what that is.
Did y'all see the look on Judah's face? She was like, Carol, you really gonna leave me here? Really?
She looks scared. She looks scared just like Sam. She looks scared.
Especially
lips was poked out.
yeah. Especially after Carol went ahead and was yelling at Sam upstairs, in order to not be a monster, you gotta be a monster. You know, it's like, oh, you know, it's like, I don't know if she should be saying, she a little bit too raw on that one, because he seems like I don't want to say idiot, he has PTSD, quote unquote. But it's like, you mean to tell me all this time he's still been, you know, staying upstairs?
Did he even make him a bath? He looked a little sweaty. He looked a little dirty. I guess she's not looking after her kids. Girl, while you trying to watch somebody else's kids, watch your own.
Working on an owl sculpture. What? Why isn't she doing something else?
She's busy watching other people's kids when she need to be watching her own. She don't need to be watching Judith.
That couldn't have been a black
woman. That was a major fail on Carol's part.
That couldn't have been a black woman, because we would have yanked him down them stairs. Boy, now I'm not playing with you. You gonna take the bath. You gonna eat these cookies. I'm not playing no more. Get your butt downstairs.
That's what, look, Tennille, that's what I said. That is exactly what I was saying. I was like, yo, I said, I didn't come from a family like that. Listen, you going to die if you don't eat. So, if you don't bring your ass down here, I'm going to bring your ass down here and I'm going to feed you. You know, so when it comes to life or death situations or a zombie apocalypse, you know, you have to get real with your kids. It's like, listen, this ain't no joke. This is not your decision. This must be. And she just, so she lets him stay up there for the next couple of days.
Yeah.
Not dealing with any of his trauma. Come on. No.
So I could see him being walker bait now, because he's gonna be terrified walking through all the walkers. Bless his heart. I hate he gonna go out the way he go out. I thought that maybe Carol could have took him under her wings or something, but bless his heart, he got to go out the way he go out, because he's been up in that room, you know, and he just ain't ready. He ain't ready.
And that's the problem in itself. No, it's no time to let them get used to trying to get ready. The wolves just came and busted in our house a couple of days ago. I need my kids a little bit more ready than this. Taking the time to hang out. Oh, you're going to bring him cookies upstairs? I ain't bringing you no cookies. You better bring your ass down here. We got to talk.
A serious talk.
Yeah, you know, we got to talk. This is real. This ain't no movies.
And I still result back to, okay, y'all just got, bum rushed by these wolves. And girl, you up here making house selfies.
For what?
You just killed somebody in your house. And it's just like, no,
I made you some cookies.
But you know something too? The house is spotless. With all that blood, I mean, how does she get that place clean?
It's spotless. It's spotless.
What is that?
If you open it up, like a bag of chips. If you're opening up that bag of chips, you may as well share with the rest of us.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was opening up a bag of cheese. I was opening up a bag of cheese, y'all. I'm sorry.
But I don't. That's getting off topic. That's what I don't like when people is like, oh, let me just open this up. And you're like, okay, my hands are open. So I'm like,
Wait a minute, you're the one who brought it up, not me. You brought it up.
No, I did. It just sounds like some chips. You guys know I'm dieting, right? So it is rough. It's rough.
Do we have any more questions, or that was it?
Let's see here. Okay. Well, she has some comments. Simple4321 has some comments. I'll just read them, guys. Gimple did say that the beard would be back. No hate, it's all love. I guess that was for earlier about when Lainey mentioned about Michonne maybe getting shot. Emmy, you just don't like anybody saying anything negative about your buttless man.
What?
Simple, you
buttless man.
You are so wrong.
He don't have no booty though. Be right on that. It's just flat as a board.
Listen to me, you guys, okay? Rick doesn't have an ass. He has a bum. There is a big
He don't have a bum.
He has a bum.
He don't even have that.
Look, it's not flat, okay? It's not flat. However, it's not right.
Girl, it's flat.
But you can
I just want to say that Rick needs a new pair of jeans. He need a new pair of jeans. He need a new pair of jeans.
Oh, here's another one. I think if Negan doesn't kill Glenn, this is from Simple4321. If Negan doesn't kill Glenn with the bat, then who gets Lucille?
Daryl.
Daryl. I'm with Daryl.
Daryl.
I hope, anyway. Because I don't want it to be Glenn.
I don't want it to be Glenn. I don't want it to be Morgan. Daryl.
I can't even think of anybody else. It got to be Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
That's
more impact. That's more impact if it's Daryl.
And that's the biggest death you can get on this show. Like, it would be rightful for him to get it. And you don't have to see him anymore.
Are we thinking that this will be the end of the season?
Huh?
Do we think that Lucille will be at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll see the bat definitely in some kind of significant. But
I know that they were saying that there's this thing in episode 15 where there's this big, it's something, a big that will cause a riot. I don't know what Spawn they were talking about, but they were saying episode 15 is a big something going on in that episode where it's supposed to cause a riot. and we don't know what it is. They won't, huh?
They haven't revealed it yet, right?
Yeah, they won't reveal it yet, but they say whatever, when they do, it's going to cause a riot.
I don't know.
Oh, I wonder which kind of riot.
Yeah. Is Michonne okay? Because I haven't seen her. Is she still? Was she still filming?
Yeah, she filmed both 15 and 16.
Okay, I just get scared. I don't want it to be her. You know, I mean, I know that
Richonne is fine. She is
okay.
fine.
Yeah, I don't even think she was there when they filmed that scene with Negan, so she's definitely fine.
Okay. She take care of the kids again. You know.
In this case, that's okay.
Well, that's what Andrea did. She stayed back in Alexandria. It's true. So that's true. But I'm excited, though. I'm excited for Negan. I'm excited. I don't know how they gonna do him. He can't cuss. He can't. How are they gonna do this on TV? I'm scared they gonna mess him up. His character.
Actually, you know what? I think they're gonna keep it. I think they're gonna keep it, and it's gonna be blurted out. But when you get the DVD or the Blu-ray, it's gonna be right on there. It has to be. There has to be the F-bomb. It has to be used.
I just wonder if they can do that, because, like, for Mad Men and Breaking Bad, they only gave them, like, a certain amount of F-words per season, even though they were silenced. So, I don't know if they can really do that for a whole season. Maybe an episode.
Right, because in one episode, how many, F's would he give? You know, every other word that comes out of his mouth is the F word.
It's probably maybe 4.
Yeah, it's going to be a situation where Negan will use the F-bomb when there's serious dialogue coming on. It can't be like in the comic when he says it, carelessly, actually, it's like, but, and I'm all right with that because I don't really need to hear, the F-bomb in every sentence, so use them sparingly, make them impactful, I guess you would say. If he's going to use, so if they're allowed like 4 or 5 of them and they place them just right in the dialogue for him, I would be all right with that. But it's almost like you can't write a good script without using, curse words. I don't know. If you're too reliant on that, then there's got to be something wrong with your skill. You should be able to show that in the characters, being without having to use, I don't have a problem with it, but if you're good, you should be able to write around that.
Well, we know that they're not really.
We know they're not really that good. Yeah, but they're not that good.
And I'm kind of afraid because we've been waiting. Every character that has come along that we've gotten, and we're like, ooh, Tyrese. Oh, they dropped the ball with Tyrese. Oh, here comes Negan. I hope that they do good with Negan. You know, their track record just have not been good with these iconic characters. Even the ones that are still alive, they have not done good. Look at Michonne, they just aren't doing a good job with her, but
if they don't do right with Negan on this one, they may lose a whole lot of people behind that one.
Yep.
Well, guys, I'm afraid we're out of time. And but I got one last anonymous question from Tumblr. So I thought we could leave it with this if you guys want to respond to it. So this person says, why didn't y'all not talk about Rick looking Michonne up and down when she was talking to him in Heads Up? No one noticed?
Wow, of course we noticed. We
noticed. We noticed.
You know, of course he was looking her up and down. As a matter of fact, I think he looked at all the 3 points. He looked at her eyes, her lips, her tits, back to her lips, and her eyes. I mean, he completely scoped her out.
Yeah.
He was giving her all the attention in the lights.
He
And
was turned
I
on.
about it. And then when she said, really, really, I was expecting, like, you know what, you done fuck up, Rick. I was waiting for that.
I was too.
But then Deanna came and then just ruined that moment, because I felt like they were really gonna actually have that conversation. I think they were going to talk about them, them. And maybe she was gonna bring up, you know, what she out on the road with Dave, but then that's just me probably reaching.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just a little bit.
You know, maybe actually, maybe you can do that. Maybe you can write me a fan fiction.
Oh gosh, I have so much fun. I probably will.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, Anon. Sorry we didn't talk about it. I've been talking about it all day, honestly. So.
But that was a great scene, Anonymous. It was, I liked it.
Yep.
I didn't like Nana's ill timing.
Neither did Rick. Neither did Rick.
You know what? That is true. I mean, you could have seen on his face too. Like, damn. Like, oh God.
He was like, now's not the time.
Yeah, he was like, we ain't trying to talk about, you know, all of that right now. Bigger things. We got a plan. So.
I can't wait till 60.
You know, me too. I'm actually kind of hoping for something really nice for Valentine's Day.
I just don't want to get my hopes up. I want to believe that something good don't happen, but then again, they could have just let it fall on that day just because. My hope in The Walking Dead right now is at a very, very low number. So I just have to see.
Yeah, I'm in a see moment.
They have low expectations.
Yeah, very low, very low. So.
But I've got hope for Richonne again, kind of. Like, the very worst thing that I didn't want to happen didn't happen, so there's hope. There's still hope.
They left that at the cutting room floor. If they did film it, they were like, let's throw this out real quick.
And he was probably
that actually stressed me out. Just the thought of that. And not seeing it, I was so happy. I was just so relieved. I literally exhaled. It's just so embarrassing. This show
it was like it didn't happen. Like the kiss didn't happen. I was like, wow.
Oh yeah,
it was
and then
a dream. It was a dream.
They didn't even show them together. It was so strange.
And then that guy on Talking Dead, like he talked about like how, you know, there was 2 episodes after Glenn died, and they're like he completely skipped now.
That's funny.
Did he really say that?
Yeah, he said, like, I forgot exactly what he said, but he said something like, there were like 2 weeks since Glenn died. There was that episode with Morgan and the episode with Daryl, and like he completely skipped now. I was like,
that was awesome.
It was completely forgettable.
That's awesome.
What did Gal and Herb say?
Nothing.
She just looking crazy.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, I've got to get going.
Okay.
So, only one more episode.
Woo!
And then the season finale, and yeah.
Bring your champagne, y'all.
And I'm really, really sorry, Simple 4321 and Graphic Girl, that I just saw the last question right here on the bottom. You know, I could read it out to you guys, and then maybe in the comment for YouTube, maybe someone can respond to it. But Graphic Girl just asked, I think Morgan's philosophy is driven by his guilt of not being able to protect and save his family in the end. He's incredibly selfish to keep trying to rationalize his bad judgment calls. His center will ultimately endanger everyone around him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
Okay, see you
Yeah.
guys
We can
next
talk
week.
about doing a live viewing chat if you want to do that. So.
Okay, if you can, that was good.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Wait, you said doing a live chat?
While we're viewing the episode.
Oh, wow.
That
Wow.
would be awesome.
That would be great. A mid-season live chat. I'm all for that.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
I'll be a little bit
Right.
tipsy.
I'll have to try and see if I can get a stream somewhere. But yeah, we can.
Okay.
Let's try. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'm good for it.
All right then.
We're here.
You guys have a good night.
Okay.
And
You
I'll see you
too.
next week.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.